Intake manifold carbon cleaning time. Right, let's have a little look. So, this is my Audi TT Mark II. It has an EA113 engine, also known as the real TFSI engine. All of the work has been done on this engine, but there is one thing that these engines suffer with. This is the intake manifold. My engine's a bit hot right now, which is probably not the nicest thing for me to work on, but this is the intake manifold, and in there is where the air all gets into the engine. Now, what happens on a normal engine is that the fuel runs over the intake valves, which are the things at the top of the engine that open up and down to let air in and out. The fuel runs over those and cleans them. But what happens on these engines is the petrol is directly injected into the combustion chamber, so no actual fuel gets over the valve. So what happens is carbon and soot builds up on the intake valves and just makes them really sludgy and a bit sticky, and it lowers your diameter, that's less air in, it's all just worse. So really over 100,000, really 120,000 miles is recommended you take this off or have someone take it off and clean it. Now, here are my things that I have bought. This morning I went out and bought carburetor cleaner. Didn't know how much I needed, so I got 2. This is what's actually going to do the breaking down of the carbon and soot inside the intake manifold. So you can't just use water. I really don't recommend that. Use something like this. It's not expensive. Each of these cost me £5. It's nothing. Just get some, get the proper stuff. I also bought some of these. These, if you can tell on camera, are the injectors seals. Basically, when we take off this intake manifold, the injectors are very likely to pop out as well. And the seals on them are one-time use. You don't really want to use them again. Also, this engine's got 127,000 miles on it. It's a good idea just to replace the seals because they can start leaking. They can cause all sorts of problems and fuel inefficiencies. So it's best just to replace them. So I've got 4 of those. This is the intake manifold gasket. I'm hoping it fits. I haven't been able to check yet because obviously taking off this intake manifold is quite a large job and I didn't want to do it twice. So I'm hoping that this fits. I recommend that you get one of these. You might be able to, sorry, my nose is quite congested. You might be able to reuse the intake manifold on there, but there's a high chance that it will warp or crack, or it just won't fit back in or won't seal properly. So this is quite cheap. I think this cost me 10 or 15 quid. Get another one, it's worth it. It's much best, definitely worth it. This is not for today. These are some nice brake pads. These are not for today, they're just in the same box. So I'm gonna put them over here. Final thing I have, second final. These are my injector baskets. They're like the filters for fuel. There's 2 filters for fuel, I believe. I believe there's these ones, which are like tiny, tiny things inside the injectors. And then at the back of the car underneath, about here, there is a big fuel filter. I have changed the big one, but I'm going to have the injectors out. Might as well put new ones of these in. These cost me like 2 quid each, so like 10 quid of baskets there. We are going to have to start by removing the fuel lines here. And then we're going to have to remove this intake charge pipe. So I think the first thing we should do is jack the car up, get the under tray off of the car, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'm going to go do that now. Right, so I have got out my jacks and jack stands. Got one jack, one stand there, one jack, one stand here. You don't need 2 jacks, obviously. You can do it with 1 jack. I just like having one on each side as like a secondary reinforcement. There's one thing I forgot. Let me go and grab it. As some of you may know, if you've jacked up an Audi TT or maybe any other VAG or car like that, you need sometimes these hockey pucks. They're not really hockey pucks, but they're made out of rubber. And what they do, there's a little groove on the side of the car. Now, there are actual jacking points. I just don't like using them because they're a bit more finicky. And these are quite nice. And that's what I've always done. I'm just going to push that down. These, you'll feel the groove. Just run your hand underneath there. You feel a little groove that's like the opposite of this. That just slots into there. So I can't show you much of it. And then you just put your jack underneath and it sort of just squishes it all together, just like that. Now, I'm going to jack up this side first. I have got let me just make sure, yep, the handbrake is on, so the car's not going to roll. There is this bolt here, which is part of your wishbone, like, connector to your subframe. I put my extra stands on there. You can also put it right behind on this curve on the same part. I just like putting them on that bolt. I'm going to get the under tray off of this car. Let me just go and get the tools required for that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this PVC or PCV, I think it is, little pipe here. It's part of your emission system. So we're going to get rid of this pipe first. I don't know what all these pipes do. This one looks like a coolant reservoir pipe. Whilst you're here, you might as well make sure that your coolant level is between the minimum and maximum lines. It's always just good to check. So I'm going to take this off just to make accessing this throttle body, intake manifold and throttle body a bit easier. So I'm just going to take that off. And there's a little bolt there. It looks like it might... All right, so I got this little bolt out. It was just a little bolt like this. I'll put that over there. This just means that I can take that off of there as well, and then I'll be able to get this out of the way. So let's guess that that's size 10. Am I correct? Yeah. Just go break it. I'm going to spin it off by hand. There we go. Luckily, the under tray is off, so if we drop any bolts, they're likely just to fall through to the floor. I want to take off this, what is probably assumed to be a boost pipe of some manner, the intake pipe to the throttle body. So there are a few things holding it in, but I'm going to tackle them. I'm going to take off, there's a clamp down there, there is this here, and then there's that bolt there. So I'm going to start with that nut just there. I'm going to assume that's another size 10. If you're working on a German car, or at least an Audi, Volkswagen group car, when you see a nut, assume it's either a size 10 or a size 13. Those are your good starting points. That's what they like to use. So I've taken that part off, so this can slide out nicely now. Next, I need to take off this. Now, this is held in by a sort of like a clamp that goes all the way around. You can either take that off using what I believe is a 7mm spanner or a flathead screwdriver. I am going to, nope, they're over here. I'm going to try it with a flathead. Just looks like it might be a little bit easier. And there we go. I'm going to loosen it off all the way without it coming off. There we go, we're going to put it there. Now, underside, let me show you. Take a flathead, I don't know which size I'm going to have to use. On the underside, there is a retainer clip on this pipe here. Careful not to get dust in your eyes. The way you get it out, is to take a screwdriver, put it around here, and just try and lever it out. Like so, you'll see it coming out. There we go. And you just pull it round. Whichever way you get lucky with first. You can also go to the actual clip here and just lift it off like that. Probably the easier way of doing it. And here it goes, it comes straight off, lovely. So take that out, see that nothing came out. And then there's a little bolt right here. There it is. There we go, yeah, T20, it might be a T30, but this T27 is doing it just fine. So there we go, that's out. Lovely, so this pipe should be free to come off now. So I'm just gonna take this back up with me, and then we'll get started from the top. Oh, I should probably get that electrical connector off. I know, it might be easier actually, instead of getting the connector off, it might actually be easier to just unscrew the actual connector itself from the pipe. Let's see if that works. Yep, that's coming off. I reckon that might be easier. Just gonna get my fingers in there hopefully and pick it up before it falls to the floor. There we go. Another one for the nut box. I'm gonna try and just lift that out of the pipe. There we go. There is that little sensor. A little tip for these sensors on these cars is these just don't work after a while. That you bend this piece of plastic, it does nothing. So just get a little flathead screwdriver and stick it in there and lift it up very gently, and it will come up, and then you can just pull the rest out. There you go. Of there properly. There we go. And there we go. It's all coming off. Lovely. Let's get this throttle body off. Now this cable, I believe that's an AC, maybe an AC line of some kind, is going to get in my way, I think. But we're going to try to do it anyway. So there are 4 bolts. There's 1 bolt there. There's 1 bolt back there in the corner. There's 1 like on this. You can see it better from the plastic up here on these little divots because there's 1 there where that is. There's 1 at the back. There's 1 here. There's 1 at the back. So there's 4 bolts like here, 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 and here. Now, what size are they? I'm going to bet that they're T30, I believe. Actually, why couldn't you just take out the intake manifold with this on? All the videos I've seen take off this throttle body, but why not just take off the plugs and take off the throttle body with the intake manifold? I'm going to try that. Maybe this will come back to bite me in a little bit of time, but I'm going to try it. Let's get this off. Another fucking seized bullshit plug. I have to really wrench it off. Fuck me, I'm just going to take it off. It's so much easier. Now, we also have to take off the fueling system. I believe these are called fuel rails. I don't know all the terms for cars, but I have a decent understanding of what they do. Now, we're going to take it off. Now, we're going to depressurize the fuel system first. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. It's very simple. Take off, where's my little screwdriver? There it is. Take it off how I showed you before. There we go. So let's have a go at removing the fuel system. Now this is your fuel pump, your high pressure fuel pump. Inside of it is your cam follower. I recommend that you check your cam follower. I could do a video on that now. You're going to need some paper towels, because when we take apart this fueling system, some fuel is going to come out. Not an exorbitant amount, but a little bit. So you're going to take off this little cover here, this little, just holding it on. I'm going to put this over there for a second. Now, inside of this is a little pin on the centre. If you just look inside yours, it's very simple. I don't think it's going to come off on camera perfectly well, but there's a little pin. And when you push that, it will depressurize the system and fuel is going to come out. So you want to put some kitchen roll down or a cloth or something, unless you just don't care about having fuel in your engine bay, in which case, fair enough. So I'm going to get a little, you just poke the end and you'll see. I'm going to try and get my hand out of the way because I don't really want fuel on my hands and my gloves, brand new gloves. And there you go, it went all over my hand. Next job, we want to get this fueling system disconnected and out of the way. So I'm going to recommend that we take that off, take these 2 clips off, and then we can start looking to disconnect this. Okay, it is a T25. Fair enough. So I can't really remember what these clips are called. I probably might be able to put it on screen or something, but they're a little bit annoying. So actually, I'm going to put it over there, so it's just easier to get at later. I'm going to take that one off. And these ones aren't too tight, and they're very easy to access, so you shouldn't have any issue with these. I'm just going to try and lever that off. Let's try and use a very small flathead just to poke it off very gently. Don't want to break anything, but this is old rubber. It's going to be quite seized on that. Oh, God, that's on tight. How about this one? That one's coming off. That one's coming off quite nicely. I'll just give it a wiggle while I was pushing. There we go. Okay. First, I'm going to take off all of these little connectors, just like this. Now, I'm going to take all these off. They're pretty easy to know where they go. So you're going to take them off. I'm going to take you off of there. Lovely. Just get you all the way out of the area, just to make it easier for me to see everything. Lovely. And finally, you. Now, when you're lifting up the inside of these connectors, do it very gently. If you go too far, you will just snap them. So, be a gentleman with it. This needs to come off. What size are you? Are you a T? Are you a 17? 17s are pretty common. Oh, it is a 17. All right. So you need to undo this. When you do that, you just slot it on and turn it. Now, a little bit of fuel will come out, so I forgot this step. You need to just put some of that underneath. Most of the fuel pressure is gone because we got it out over here. And you bring this off all the way. Now, just gonna do that there. Lovely. Just let that slip down. In there, I'm going to take a picture with my phone because I do not believe this is going to come up on camera. In there is a little, like, nut. And there you go, taking a picture. I should put it up on screen if I remember. There's a little nut in there. I believe it's a 14 mil from the looks of things. I think this is one of the nuts I remember that wasn't size 13. So it's really finicky in there. And it's a real bastard to get to. So, good luck. I'm going to have to remove that little nut there, I believe. Now, will this slide in? That nope. So, let's just remove all of these. Taking that off. Now, let's just quickly put that up there. Let's get this off very quickly, and then we'll put it back on just to not allow any contaminants in there. Actually, it might be easier just to leave it off for a little bit. I'm sure it'll be all right for a few minutes. Now, that is all clear, mostly. Just that little nut in there. Let's try and get that. So it's a size 14, as I was saying. Where did I put my spanner? There it is. So you've got to try and get it in there. And little bit by little bit, you have got to undo this. Now, my sympathies for anyone doing it, but maybe if we can maneuver this pipe slightly, let's take that off. Maybe that'll help us out a little bit. Now, luckily, I am recording everything, so if I get lost or where something goes, I can try and go back and watch it again. So I recommend taking pictures or just watching this video again if you're worried about remembering where things are going to go. Is that going to... Yeah, I'm turning it very slightly. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. It's turned slightly. Although it's spinning very freely now. I'm not even putting it on top anymore. I'm just pushing down on the side. Or at least that's something. There we go. And that is off. Lovely. I guess if worse comes to worse, because this has got quite a lot of slack in it, I could just cut it there and move it across, but I really don't want to do that. I'm afraid that's going to cause issues. So maybe I can just try prying it again. There we go. I think we're getting somewhere now. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Maybe I can just pull it off now. Yep. Oh, almost. It's getting there. You just have to sort of break the seal that it's formed from 20 years of just being there. There we go. I get that in there. Start to... There we go. Got it off. Now, that's not the official way to do it, but it worked, so you can't complain. Now, I'm just going to pull this off of there, and then this should be the fuel rail off. Well, nearly off, sorry. I don't want to jump the gun. I've still got a few extra steps to do. actually, there we go. Okay, just had to use enough force. Now these are all T30 bolts, so I'm just going to crack them all. Most of these are quite loose. I wouldn't say loose, but they're not super tight, so. Actually, oh, there's a little through there. Ooh, look at that. Did Audi design something with maintenance in mind? Jesus fucking Christ, that's tight. Oh, goodness me. Clearly not, because they overdid that one. Oh, that's tight. Oh, that's because it gets hot down there. There it gets quite tight. There's another one there. Okay, time to put more force through this than anything else in my life. No, I think I just slipped off. 3, 2, 1. Oh, God, above. 3, 2, 1. Let's try turning it around a little bit, give myself a bit more leverage. Come on, you bastard, get in the hole. There we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to end up breaking this T30, I believe. God, this bolt is really in there. I want a hammer. I want to hammer it in just to stop it slipping out again. Have I got a hammer in here? There we go. There's my mallet. And... ow. Right, that should be really in there now. Oh, there we go. Come on. A little bit more. There we go. Fuck me, those are tight. There's these little nuts here. Now, I can get to that one. Okay, can I get to this one down here? I'm going to take out this kitchen roll now. I said I'm going to take out this kitchen roll now. That's good enough. Is there a way to get to that nut down there? Oh, there's a little through there. Lovely. Hopefully. Lovely, we'll see. I wish I had some ratchet spanners, that'd be nice. Now there's this little fucker there. Now, I am not going to get to it with a spanner, obviously, so I'm going to dig into my bag of many things. Now, please fit down there. And yes, lovely. Let's get this out. Let's try and just stretch you back out. There we go. That's much easier. Why didn't I do this from the start? That's so much better. And I can probably reuse that as well. So let's just slide it along there. Wow. I did something with my brain hole. And let's get you out there. I really hate to say it, but I might have to take off this throttle body to see. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take off the throttle body. No! Like, so you literally can't see anything I'm doing. You just see my hands moving. Get this bolt out, and out it comes. Lovely. See, there we are. There is a little mount holding everything in. So you do have to take off the throttle body. That looks like a... is that a 13? Oh, honey, am I going right again? Oh, baby. There we go. Do I need some mole grips, and do I mole grip it and just twist it? Do I just put it on there and just fucking turn it? Is that how this is done? Oh, almost. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, good. They're not super tight, so that's off. I can't get it. I can't do it with my gloves. Lovely. That'll probably be easier. Just take that off. Yeah. Right, that's off. There's lots of fuel coming out. If I think this bolt down there, we have to take out that spline, which is going to be a real pain to get to. Now, is that an M10? It might be an M10. Let's have a little look in my spline box. Oh God, why is that in the way? Can that come out? Yep. Oh, just pull on it and it will come out. See if I can just rotate it into there, like so. There we go. Yeah, so, I was going to show you. This is your cam follower. So you don't want it to get dirty. So I'm just going to pop it up there and over here. But yeah, you see this black coating. This one's brand new. So you can see it looks mint. This black coating wears away, and it's a protective coating. When it wears away, you don't have long before the entire thing just explodes. And it all goes in there, in with your cam, and it's awful. You can see a cam lobe there, and you can check here. Mine looks quite nice. I think they're called cam lobes, or a rock, or whatever they are. My one looks all right, so that's all right. Back to this bolt. I got distracted. Lovely, lovely. It's all coming out very nicely. Let's get this out of there. Let's get you out of there. It fell on the floor, that's okay. This mount is now out. Let's get that bolt and put it, I believe it is on that one, doesn't really matter. Figure it out later. Put this up there. Yeah, very tidy workspace. Is this going to come out now? Oh, it's so close. What's holding you in? Does it just need a good pull? Oh, there we go. I think it was just the injectors holding it in. Oh, okay. We'll take that plug off when I get better access. There we go. Ooh. What is seeming to be the issue? A load of fuel going everywhere. That's okay. Let's take you off. Let's get this plug out. There we go. All right. And that's an intake manifold. Woo! Okay, so I got it off. I just started pulling, and it's all off. I took out all of these, and I'll show you, I took out this one here, just so you can get in there better. Now, I'm going to clean these up first. I am going to just start spraying with carburetor cleaner and try and soak them a little bit. Now. Oh. Okay, so I've got an old toothbrush, and I'm just going to start rubbing them with it. And now these are never going to get perfect, but they can get pretty good. I'm back. I've spent a little bit scrubbing, probably about 20 minutes or so scrubbing. This is what they look like now, though this isn't perfect, but they're never going to be perfect. This is sort of as good as it's going to get, and functionally these are pretty perfect, even if they're not visually perfect. So I'm just going to put them over here. What I've done is I have gone underneath the car, underneath, and just put this ratchet on. It's a 21mm socket, just for all of you wondering, and I put this extension on, and this is in the way, so we're just going to take this box off very quickly. Now I'm going to be turning the crank by hand. I would have thought, why aren't you? You can see it turning the belt here. Is it turning anything in there? Oh yeah, it's doing it. I think it's that one and this one I'm going to clean. It is just sitting in there. I'm going to get some kitchen roll and stuff it into the ones I'm not cleaning currently, just to prevent A, any confusion, and B, anything from going in there. Okay, so it's a new day. I spent quite a few hours last night getting this all done. I'm going to take a picture of my phone and you'll see that although it's not perfect, like visually, it's so much better than it was. And you don't really need to get it perfect because it's not going to last perfect for a while. So I'll just stick my camera up in there. That's how it looks now. So it's a lot better. Again, it's not perfect, but it's so much better than it was. So I changed my method of how I was doing this. I got out a air gun, just a bit like that. What I ended up doing was, I'll show you exactly what I used. I used carburetor cleaner and brake cleaner. Now, what I ended up doing, I learnt a lot from the first two valves that I put into the second two valves. What I did is I soaked it. I just sprayed this in there until it filled up, like all the way to the top. I soaked it in this, and then I let it sit for about 20 minutes. Then I sprayed it all out. I held a cloth there, put the gun around the side and just sprayed it into the cloth. It went everywhere, but it was better than having no cloth. And then I used a combination of brake fluid, this toothbrush, and this pick scraper. And I said you shouldn't use anything hard, but I gave up on that. So I ended up using this scraper, that mostly just this corner edge, this nice edge. And I just scraped down along all the walls and scraped the top there. And I got it as good as I could. Hopefully everything is okay. And a combination of just putting it, blasting, spraying, blasting, spraying. Now, we today have to put it all back together, but first I have noticed something I forgot to do last night. On the intake manifold, I forgot to clean these bits. There's no real point cleaning all of that and then leaving this all crusty dusty. So I need to get these gone. Now, can I get you off? This is the old gasket that I'm going to remove because I don't need that anymore. Got a new one of those. Can I get you off, or am I just going to be scraping? I think I might be spraying and scraping. Let me go and get a big tub. Alright, well this one's basically as good as it's going to get. These are a lot easier to clean than the valves, because they aren't being cooked nearly as much, but they're a bit harder. I'm going to do the other three, and then we'll try and put this all back on. Now, we're going to remove the injector over here. Now, you're just going to want to pop out the plug, like before. Very simple. Hit a little pop and pull it off. Jesus Christ, there we go. Lovely. Now, I'm just going to pry it off. I'm using this right angle screwdriver. You can use any screwdriver. I'm going to put it behind there. I'll wiggle it a bit first, and then we're just going to put it behind there and start to shimmy it out. It's going to take a while. You need quite a lot of force to do it. There we go. Just levering it out. There we go. There is our injector. Oh, this one looks the worst of all the ones I pulled. Now I've got a new injector kit, so I'm going to just take off these. You can snap them. It's fine. Take that off. It's going in the bin and getting replaced anyway. Take that off. Take off your metal seal there. Now the seals we're replacing. There's an O-ring that goes in the intake manifold in there. In there. But we're just going to put it on here because it ends up in the same place. there's this little grommet, this rubber grommet, and then there's this actual fuel seal down here. We'll be replacing all of them. So you guys just take this one off. Doesn't matter how you get it off, as long as you get it off. I'm just going to break mine off. Do the same to the top bit over here. Just lever it off. There we go. Now, going to give this a little bit of a clean. Now, I bought this kit off eBay. It was called something like an injector seal installation puller kit. I'll put a link up. It comes with various things. Half of them I don't know what they do, but the stuff we need today is this. Ooh, let me get it out. This is a O-ring stretcher. Now, the little ring... You shut up over there, giggling at O-ring stretcher. This is an O-ring stretcher. This is an O-ring stretcher. Basically, the little seal that goes at the bottom here, its tolerances are very tight, so you have to basically stretch it to get it over, and then you have to compress it back again afterwards, otherwise it won't seal properly. Now, we use this to stretch it, so I'm going to show you that. Just you stretch it over this way. Usually there's a way they stretch easier, so you should be able to just push it over your fingers. If not, switch it around the other way, and it should just push over like that. There you go. You hold it up to the end there, and you just slide it from one to the other. Actually, I'm not happy with how clean this is. I'm going to clean it a bit more. Alright, that's enough. So yeah, you just hold it up there, and you just transfer it from one to the other. There you go. Lovely. Now, obviously, this O-ring is too big now. It's just stretched all around this. What you use is this O-ring, I think it's called O-ring compressor. They come in this kit. They're the orange ones, but you get them anywhere. You can just squeeze it over gently, and it's going to resize that O-ring. First of all, you do this size. It's a little bit too big. Leave it there for a few minutes. Whilst that's doing that, let's install the rest. So there's this little seal there. I think it's just a bracer for the O-ring to make sure it compresses properly. So we'll just clean that up. Put it on. Put the big side up, small side down, and then put your O-ring over the top. So then put this one over and just compress it down, and leave it there for a little bit because it takes a little bit of time for it to reshape naturally. And you have these. I don't really know what these do, but I think they just keep the injector in the car properly. But before we put that on, we're going to clean out inside of the injector. Take your carburetor cleaner, just spray it through the top. You're looking for it to come out the bottom. It'll come out in a not so clean colour. You're going to keep doing it until it does come out in a clean colour. Let's just put this last bit over the top. I think this will all come together once it's actually inside the car. All right, let's put these back in now. We're going to start with this one. Put it very carefully in there. Push it in. There we go. Let's try the other ones now. There we go. There's injector number 3. There we go. That one's not quite in, actually. There we go. Now it's fully in. Just put that one in there. And squeeze it in. There we go. Right. Those are all feeling as secure as they should be. Let's all plug them back in. And then 1 cylinder 4 cylinder 2 and cylinder 1. There we go. Now, I don't quite know what this is. It's given me some cause for concern that I don't know what it is or how it works. But fuck it. Now what do I do? Now I think it's time for the intake manifold to just go back on. Is there anything I'm forgetting? oh, my seal, my new gasket for my intake manifold. Where is it? There it is. These are really simple. They just pop straight in if you've ordered the right one. I'm hoping that I have. It's around that way. Looks like it goes in. Is there a specific side? I don't know. This one looks correct. No, it's not. It's the other way. Okay, it's that way. Lovely. It's not asymmetrical. Sorry, it is asymmetrical. It's not symmetrical. Let's just put it in like this. Maybe it'll be a fatal error. Maybe it won't be. So this is going to be finicky to get in. So let's just think about it. That rail, that, and that are going to line up with those. Okay. Ugh. Let's put it in very carefully. You won't be able to see much of what I'm doing right now. But such is the way of life. I'm sure you can figure it out, guys. Why are you failing to go on? What is stopping it? Okay, I figured it out. All I had to do was take the bolts on the right side, which seemed to be closer, and I put these in, and it's now compressing the left side over. So that's all I'm going to keep doing. So just take the side that's closest to succeeding and mash it in there. Now, I've got to be careful because there are two lengths of similar looking bolt. There's this short side and this long side. The long one is the one for the intake manifold. The short one is for the one for the fuel pump. Yeah, if your one doesn't go on fully the first time, it's probably because your injector O-rings haven't seated themselves properly. So just try and get one bolt in one of the holes to line up, and it'll pull the rest in slowly and work your way across the intake manifold. I've cut with this technique where if I put the nut on the screwdriver and then try and get the screwdriver end to the hole and then fish it on with my finger. It's the best solution I've got so far. But it's not really the best. There we go. Now, I did drop another nut whilst I was doing everything. Don't know where it went. Tried to find it, felt it, and it flicked deeper into the engine. So that seems like a sign. How tight should my manifold bolts be on my EA113 intake manifold engine? That wasn't really the proper way of saying any of that, but nothing at all. That'll be about 9 Newton meters of torque. Well, probably it's going to be over torqued, but there's no harm. The manifold has a mount at the bottom. It's an M10, so let's get out my M. These are called triple square, or they're called spline sockets. I call them spline. Some people call them triple square. Now I'm going to find the nut that went on there. Bring this up there, and we'll just put the nut and spin it on until it brings the other end level, and then we're going to stick this into there and locate it in. Right, let's fish you through there onto there and try and do you up. Actually, I believe we can put this back in first. Let's just clear it of any contaminants using this dirty old rag. Just get the hair off of it. There we go, that looks pretty cleaned up. That looks fine. Just put that down there so I don't have to worry about stuff falling in it. And it comes over here, doesn't it? Yes. There we go. Push you down and on. I believe that's it back. Lovely. Now, finally, fuel rail. I need my cam follower for this step. There, it's in there. Actually, before we do any of that, we should probably plug in all that we can, because there's a plug down here, I know, that has not been plugged in. It's that one. So let's push that back over there. This is getting in the way a little bit. There we go. And it plugs in to there, to this thing here. Yeah. There we go. There we go. This system. Use that to orientate it. Take you off of there again. Let's try and get you out of the way and fish things back together, just like so. You need to get underneath there to there. No, I don't remember. Do you go underneath or above? I don't quite remember. I think it probably goes underneath that little bit there. And like that. And I think, yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Lovely. So we're going to push this nut around on the rail until it gets all the way to its destination over there. Lovely. Now that is a 14mm nut. Thankfully, I think we can just spin it on from our fingers down here and do most of the work. It's very hard to see what I'm doing, but to be honest, it's hard for me to see as well, so don't feel like you guys are getting left out of the loop, because I can barely see what I'm doing. There we go. It's taken to the thread now. Lovely. Just had to try enough times. He hadn't put up enough of a fight yet. He just wanted to let me know that he was tough. I need to put that fuel pressure release valve back onto the actual thing, so it's all clean. I'm going to put it back underneath there. Be a size 13, please. Yes, lovely. What else is there to do? Is plug this in whilst we're here. Assuming that goes there, and that connects there, and this goes up here. Lovely. Almost. Is that how you work? And you're supposed to go over that. Mayhaps. Mayhaps. Let's try it. No harm in trying. Now, let me grab my thingy tool and try and get you two to go together, because you look fairly reusable. You don't look kerfuckled. Move over there. And, oh, it's so close. And there we go. That's back on there. That's pretty lovely. Is this one going to work? No, I'd assume you are. You look pretty good. Yep, that looks good. That's not coming out anytime soon. This bastard needs to go back on. Get you out of the way and put you back on. Now, unfortunately, I did not know that there was a gasket between the throttle body and the intake manifold. I should have assumed there was, I just didn't. So I didn't replace it, but it looked in okay condition, so no biggie, but I would recommend doing it if you remember to, unlike me. Now let's just get this bolt in and on. Okay, I'm now holding the GoPro instead because these final steps are really easy. There's some plugs we need to do down here. So just put these on to the throttle body and I've dropped one of the throttle body bolts and I cannot find it for the life of me, so I'm going to have to go find a replacement bolt and put it on at a later date. So, oh yes, I disconnected this. I need to reconnect this up here. Ugh. It's going to be a bastard. I need 2 hands for this. Give me a second. There we go. That's fully tight now. So I'm going to put the turbo hose back on the PVC system. Okay, so I've put the thing on. I've put the air intake pipe on. Sorry, I'm losing my words. I'm very tired. We're going to try and start it up again. Come on, it's almost there. It was almost there. We'll leave. All right, so this engine is done. Okay, lovely.